Hello, Quin.
Hello, Mike.
We're back with another 2020 Rewind video here, and this one you called out specifically that we're playing. This is Ikenfell. How would you describe this game?
Ikenfell is I don't know. I have a lot of words that would describe this game.
Sure, this gives like just give like your boilerplate like
boilerplate. It's a RPG where you are trying to find your sister.
Okay.
And you go to the school, the grounds of Ikenfell. They call it the School of Ikenfell, trying to find her.
Right. It's like you're like wizards and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's basically like this is like pretty early on.
Yeah, this is incredibly early.
Yeah, because you were like, hey, check this out. I like it, and it's on Game Pass. And I was like, okay, we can check it out for this video. So I'm the main character here, and our party member. I just got this new party member.
Yep, you just got Petronella,
and we're here. Merit. That's how you say it, probably.
Yeah, and Merit. I'd say Mariette.
Yeah, that's probably.
There's no like.
That's probably.
There's no VO in the game, so you can kind of have to like.
Yeah.
Take people's pronunciations how you.
Yeah, but basically, I just met her, the party member I'm with. Like you said, we're trying to track down our sister, and now I'm trying to get into that school that you talked about. But now we're going to go into this area and start moving.
And Mike, actually, before you get into after this battle,
okay, yeah,
there are two cool settings that I want to show off in the game.
Yeah, totally.
Menu. That I'll kind of just like.
Actually, I haven't used her yet. So this is it's kind of like a grid-based thing. I see. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 3x15 or 12 grid-based thing.
Yeah. Sorry, hold on 1 second.
You good?
All right, sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, good. So the combat is it is grid-based, and so each character has their own like special focus. Like in the beginning of the game, you see Mariette, like get whatchamacallit. She gains magical powers after not having any her entire life, and so it's kind of what's actually going on here? What's happening to the grounds of Ikenfell that I have obtained these powers? I would actually move down one, Mike, because then you could do a fireball to both of them.
Yeah, good idea.
And so that's kind of like the opening of the game, and from there you meet Petronella, who is Safine, who is your sister, like her best friend. She's wrote Mariette letters about like their adventures and all that. So
yeah,
it is a game that is very near and dear to my heart this year. I'll say that. But
it's been interesting. Like the first thing that really stuck out to me once I started playing earlier today was that like how evocative it is of like playing just like a Game Boy game or like a Game Boy Advance game. Like it was definitely that like initial reaction of like feeling. It felt weird, like sitting here playing this on like a PC monitor with my controller, where I feel like I should have like a Game Boy in my hand, like playing it.
Yeah,
so like from like if that's what they were going for, they like freaking nailed like that kind of style and feel and aesthetic of everything, which I can appreciate.
Yeah, and I think to talk about the settings that I wanted you to show off during this battle, there's one where you don't have to do the button presses to get like perfect attacks. It automatically just does it.
Okay.
Even for like defenses, which is something I enjoy because I'm not good at timing. It's probably like one of my least favorite things in games in general, especially in one of my favorite RPGs, Mario and Luigi. So you can just like turn that setting off all entirely. As well as there is, if you don't like the combat, you can just turn on the instant win functionality, to where like as soon as the battle starts and it's like one of your character's turns, you can hit instant win and don't have to do the combat. So it's basically takes the RPG aspect out of it and makes it into more of like a visual novel.
Right. Interesting.
Which is something I appreciate because that makes the game more accessible in many ways. And the last thing is a content warning system, which basically means, say if there's like a character cutting, we're going to see a character cut themselves, spoilers, to get access to this, like whatchamacallit, to this this underground realm that we're trying to get to. And there's also a photosensitive mode too.
Oh yeah, see, so timing mode is auto.
Yeah, auto victory option. That's the auto win. Auto run is what I just. And so
yeah, we'll try
with all
those,
of these. Yeah,
just to show them off. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I've never seen a content warning system in a game like this before. Because so like if you'll approach a scene and it'll be like, hey, if you're uncomfortable with this like these topics of like self-hate and like self-destruction or whatever, you can just hold down Y and skip it. You don't even have to see it. And I think it's cool that a game is designed, it has that functionality because it says, hey, if you don't want to see this, you don't have to. And I think there's been a lot of discourse about that particular thing and trigger warnings in games recently.
Totally.
And the fact that this game has it just like from the jump shows that not only does the team care, but they're willing to make a game like this more accessible. So yeah, I genuinely love this game. It's one of my favorites of the year. Mariette can't attack her, so I would suggest using like a defense item. But now with Petronella, you can use her acid splash and hit 2 enemies at once. The one in the center is going to receive the most damage, and because you turned it on, you're automatically going to do great damage.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know, there's a lot of cool settings in this game which make it like incredibly accessible on like a gameplay front. And it just, I don't know, it's like the little things that make me happy. So well, there you go.
Let's see, I can get a bunch of them in that. Okay, cool.
Yep. And I do like how the combat is. It is very much, I think it's like a Mega Man, correct me if I'm wrong, like a Mega Man Tactics thing. Battle Legend or Network or whatever.
Sort of, kinda.
Okay.
That one's like, I mean, again, this is early into this game, so like I don't want to speak too much because I don't know how the combat gets later. But like, it's all this. It's all the same format. You just get different characters. Okay. I would say like the battle networks are like way more about like also about positioning, where like this seems like the positioning is just kind of like you want to be in the spot to like hit an enemy, where like like in battle network there could be like things like traps and other things like on the battlefield itself. Gotcha. So I don't know if that comes into play later in this game, but
traps do come into play.
Yeah,
and it's probably one of my least favorite things about it, but I get why they were.
But yeah, but like you said, this seems like a way more accessible version of like a more like tactical RPG.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely see the appeal of.
Yeah.
I think as somebody who also like those Mario RPGs, like you said, this is definitely giving those vibes. I think I personally, I do like kind of having that timing aspect.
Yeah.
And kind of having like the risk reward of like some of that stuff, but also I definitely see the like, hey, you know, accessibility at the end of the day is like you have both options, and that's pretty cool that they did the work and you know thought about like, hey, what are ways we can make this more accessible or make this more let's use this, like you said,
approachable.
Let's do some item buffs here. I haven't really used too much of the items.
No, I didn't use a lot of the items either, but then again, I was doing a lot of the whatchamacallit. I was using basically just healing stuff. But if you're very much focusing on like the role-playing game aspect and you want to use that, like if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of buffing your thing,
yeah.
Like I think
Yeah,
like
there's plenty of items like that, and like you have like equipment and items you can equip to like boost.
exactly.
Yeah, to like for defense stats and attack stats and stuff for sure. That's all here too.
Yeah, and I think everything is there in terms. If you move back one, or you can do that. You are right there.
Yeah, you're right. There you go.
This just shows how much I've played this game.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is it's all there, and once you get more characters in the game, more party members rather, you can decide, okay, I like their abilities more. Like Petronella is very much a healer. Mariette is very much kind of like a glass cannon kind of build.
Yeah, right.
But you can like use get equipment items to like, hey, I'm gonna buff their health. I'm going to increase their defense like when a thing starts or something. And one of the things I love about this game is when you're like in that combat, well, even though it's got the turn counter on the top right, when you're actually in the battle like stage, you can kind of like think about your moves, and if you don't know like the limits, especially here early on, like where certain things attack,
right,
you can kind of just muddle around and figure it out.
Yeah, it being kind of turn based is it kind of seems like it's trying to let you set up and kind of figure out the battlefield and stuff. And there's like some interesting takes on that, like to a couple of parts before this, I fought a boss that was about like you had like it put out little fires like on the battlefield, and you had to like lure the boss like into the fires or near them and attack the fires to like do way more damage than the boss itself. But you could also just kind of damage it and figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing is what this game is. Like, and the one thing I do love about this game is how there's always a save point, like right at the boss. Like after this dialogue, you can go back and save with the cat, so you don't have to see this dialogue again,
right,
if you fail. Which is something I like, because in games you'll get to a save point like, oh, the boss is right there, but then you have to sit through the same interaction.
Right, and sit
if
here.
You're failing
like
again,
you have to like watch a cutscene or like skip a cutscene and wait for a load or whatever. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, with this, it's like
a lot of older games that you have to definitely still have that stuff.
With this, like you'll do this, then you can go back and save, and so you just don't have to sit through it again if you fail. Which is like, for me as someone who's gotten annoyed when games like have hard bosses and they're like, hey, then you got to sit through the cutscene again. Having that was just like, cool. That's just a great little feature. Because a lot of the bosses you'll talk to, or like another party member will say, hey, this is like what's happening. But if I remember this boss fight correctly, it's like 2 phases.
Gotcha.
It's pretty fun. Yeah. But also the soundtrack in this game is just fucking stellar.
It's very chiptune-y, and definitely again, it's very evocative of like those handheld Game Boy era games for sure.
I believe it's the same artist who did the Steven Universe soundtrack as well.
For the music? Oh, cool.
Yeah. I gotta Google it real quick.
Season of Fire. Oh no.
Yeah, he's.
All right, let's see what's going on with Mr. Fireman here.
It's Avivi and Sarasu. That's
very interesting. So I'll go ahead and start with just defend up here.
I believe Avivi is non-binary. But no, and the other thing about this game, I'm sure you've later on, you'll see that it's super gay. Like,
right.
Like,
there was a cutscene where I kind of saw like, all right, I see where this is going.
Yeah.
They've not outright like said stuff at this point in the game, but it was like very clear for even that cutscene of like, okay, yep, got it.
Yeah, and that's like it's this game's made by queer and trans folks, so it's like they're writing for that audience. And
Totally,
like them.
Yeah.
They're not like fucking like they're not like fudging it in.
Right. Totally.
It's all super well done. And I even in my write up about this game, there's a little like later on you're going to meet a character, and they're non-binary, and there's just a little spiel about like pronouns. And after that, it's like, hey, kind of like a reminder, just like respect people's pronouns. Yeah. But after that point, they don't make like any more like fuss about anything related
like,
to that topic.
Do that or fuck off, basically.
Yeah, and like it was, I don't know, it's very fun. I like this game a lot.
Cool.
Yeah, but no, I'm glad you're liking it too, Mike.
Yeah, it's because it does speak to me again of saying of like that era of video games, because like you've talked about it before, but like in the Mario RPGs, but I liked them quite a bit too, and there were plenty of other games in that similar vein. Yeah, that I grew up playing as a younger kid when playing games on a Game Boy SP back in the day. It's definitely evoking an era of games. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
I feel that,
and it's definitely nailing that vibe too. And I believe he's about to explode, and he's gonna be like,
up, he's a skull. Yeah. He's a demon skull now.
Yep, he's like Cole now, I think.
Yes, it seems like a bad time.
Minions. Yeah, it's a lot of the bosses. I really like a lot of the boss fights in this game, because they do cool and interesting stuff. There you go.
Yeah, I'll just do an ignite then, I guess.
And the one thing I love about this game is when you defeat a boss, all the ads just die. You don't have to defeat the ads after the fight.
Okay, that's good to know.
So it's like, with some of them you need to. I believe there are some fights where it's like you actually need to defeat the ads to get damage.
Yeah.
But that's one of the nice things. Like, I believe in this fight, if you defeat all the ads, the boss will spawn in more ads. So there's a good strategy of just like, hey, I'm just going to keep one ad alive. So
right. So yeah, to mitigate damage and stuff. Let's heal up quickly.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, with like healing items,
swamped by this guy though.
Yeah. I think some of the early fights when you only have two characters can be a little rough, because Petronella doesn't have her healing ability yet, like her first one.
Right.
So you kind of have to like be reliant on stuff. Mariette doesn't have her empower ability, which like grants like more attack,
like damage buffs and other things like that.
Yeah.
I was figuring some of like more stuff like that was going to come into play, like team, like because like that's just a general RPG thing of like
yeah.
Getting starting with just basic roles, and then advancing that and having more advanced roles come to play for characters on top of just like, hey, they're this person's damage dealer, this person's healer, this person's this, or like this person's healer, or maybe a buffer, and then this person can also do this or that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I believe I think you can always, when you go over like an enemy, you can always see their health.
Okay, I missed that part.
But yeah, which is one of my favorite parts of this game, is because in a boss fight you're like, okay, I've been doing this for like 20 minutes. What's his health at? What's the actual number?
Yeah, a lot of games don't just give you that right at the gate. You have to kind of like unlock it and stuff.
Because if you go back a menu, I think, go down, there should be, go to the menu, the attack menu, go down to then view units.
View units, got it.
And boom, then you can see like where they are on the timeline. And like he's only got 30 health, so it's like, cool, you're a third of the way there.
Yeah. Those only have 1 health, so I can probably take them out quickly if need be.
Yeah, and that's like one of my favorite things in this game, is just like seeing where the numbers are actually going. Not to like dunk on Destiny real quick, but Destiny doesn't show you where the numbers are going. It's like your number goes up, but you don't know what the boss's health are.
Right. So, yeah. You just kind of have to go off. You just kind of have to go off the meter. Okay, cool. Up to damage too. That's cool.
So you kind of want to like kite him around.
I'll just stick it out here because I can. He probably doesn't need too much more
I think he's got like 10 health left.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But
oh, that's probably bad.
mm-hmm.
Oh, he blew up his own things though.
Then he's gonna take damage from it.
Yeah,
Murat's gonna be at low health, but you can just heal up.
Yeah.
And something I do like about this game is when you get like new spells through leveling up, you don't have to worry about like forgetting stuff. You can just like every person gets 6 abilities when they're all leveled up, which is a nice little touch.
Mm-hmm.
Because well, like to use an example, like Pokemon, I love getting certain moves. But like when you have to forget a good move for a better move, it's like you know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, it's a give and take, and they have to.
Mm-hmm.
It is about like finding what the right moves for that one Pokemon is in particular.
Yeah, and like in this, it's like
Cool.
Here you go. I think you just got Motivate,
Cool.
which is an attack buff. It gives you more pump up. Then you get Salve, which is a healing spell.
Perfect.
Yeah. But I love this game so much. And there's a new beacon.
Creature. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Yeah, he was a giant evil fire monster. But now he's not.
He's kind of like a phoenix. He just like, you know what I mean?
He was reborn.
Yeah. Now I want to replay this game.
Asleep down here?
And I will say something that gives it that like Game Boy Advanced feel is the lack of like VO.
Yeah, and it's just like
a lot of those games don't have it, so it's like it's a lot of reading and it's a lot of like short little things that they're saying. It's
it's a lot of reading and like having like this like specific like almost like little diorama set.
Yeah,
like it's just a block and this dark circle, but it's enough to get the point across.
Mm-hmm. And like you'll see when the characters' models are on the left next to their text, like sometimes they'll make faces and it like it kind of indicates what they're feeling. Like Petronella is always she's sappy and sad. That's kind of like
she's always kind of mopey.
She's always the one like doubting things.
Yeah.
Versus Mariette, who takes after her sister Safine, who's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just gonna rush it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Worried about their sister spirits.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mike, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you turn on the content warning system? Because we're gonna reach the thing where we can actually show it.
Okay, yeah, I can do that here. Let's scroll down. I don't know if I did or not. Here it is. So we'll turn that on.
When we get to the tool shed, I'll show you. You can go to the right. You can go up through there. Then you can go to the right.
Oh,
so that's where where stock went.
You mean the left?
Yeah. Whoops. Then you just go up the ladder again.
Okay. Here we go.
Boom.
And I'll save real quick.
And I will say, saving with the cat kind of gives me Undertale vibes.
Yeah, having the little animal is that. So I think it's over here, right? Yep.
Yep. So here's a great example of the content warning system at play. Yep.
But no depiction of blood, horror. Okay.
It just says it at the bottom. And it's like, hey, if this is too much, you can just skip it or something. Just hold down Y if it's too much. And it's just like, there's nothing like super, I don't believe there's nothing super triggering in this, but it is literally all for anything that's like anxiety inducing. And even like, you're going to meet the headmaster of the school. There's a scene where she's in a very self-destructive pattern. And it's like, hey, you don't want to see this. Don't worry about it. You can just skip it. So
interesting. So yeah, we'll check out this next little bit, and I think that's a good place to leave it because it seems like this might be like a big story moment, maybe.
This is like right when the tutorial ends and you get to the grounds of Ikenfell.
Got it.
how she gets there is she goes to like this underground dimension. So there's a whole story arc with it later in the game, which I think is pretty good with another character. No. And boom, you're in this like underground realm to get to the school.
Whoa.
Yeah. This is a big monster. Like a big war monster. I don't want to spoil anything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll go through here a little bit.
Yeah. Just go to the book. And this is when you see the big creature underneath here.
Yo.
Mm-hmm. And boom.
Chapter 2.
Yeah. I think there's only like 7 chapters in it. But it took me like 20 hours.
Okay.
It's like a full-fledged RPG. I thought it was gonna be way short, but it took me like 20-25 hours.
Neat.
Yeah.
That was really freaky.
Yeah. And the way the story like unfolds and it unwinds, it gets like it gets super. Actually, I don't want to spoil anything. Just play this game, please, for the love of God, play this game. Because then you exit, and then boom, that music hits, and it's just. Oh, I love it.
Nice. This guy looks a little.
He's the groundskeeper.
Yeah, check out this Goku, the groundskeeper.
Yeah, this looking motherfucker. I love the groundskeeper. He is like super minor.
Sigbert.
The air. That's what's changed.
Shifting the plants. Some are biting. It's probably bad.
So good. Yeah, very good. I have a soft spot for like groundskeepers and like stuff like this.
For the people getting down to business.
Yeah, but like, you know what?
Doing the
Someone's
real.
gonna take care of this.
Yeah, doing the real labor.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but this is Ikenfell, Mike.
Yeah, this is pretty neat. I'll let it finish off the story here. All right, so we're gonna go investigate. That'll be next. But yeah, we'll let people discover actual Ikenfell for themselves. They want to check out the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, please do. It is on PC and Xbox Game Pass if you're curious about it.
Yeah, that's how I'm playing it right now. I'm on Xbox Game Pass for PC playing this, so you can check it out too. Yeah, it seems
I'm tempted to buy it and replay it on my Switch, but yeah, I think it's on sale quite frequently on Steam too.
Yeah, actually, I think it just ended the day we're recording this, but there was a really big,
gotcha.
There was a really big Steam winter sale that was just going on, so it probably was. But yeah, it's pretty neat. I like it's again it's personally it speaks to me in that like that Game Boy kind of classic, those kind of era of games that I grew up with and enjoyed. So I'm sure there's probably plenty of people also in my space, playing Game Boys when they were younger, playing those handheld games for a good era of video games, and this is like a good good game like that is very evocative of those and nails that aspect for sure. So I might check it out. I might keep playing through it. But there's also,
please do.
But also as you'll see in our some more 2020 rewind viewpoints that we're doing, this little series kind of here in January. I'm addicted to a lot of roguelites right now. But
that's fair.
But this seems cool, and thanks for putting it on my radar, Quinn. And
no worries.
Happy.
I've only been yelling about it since I played it.
Yeah, we've been happy to show it off. We'll probably we'll probably talk about it more because we're still soon to do the Game of the Year podcasts and all that fun stuff.
Yep.
Over here at Irrational Passions. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.